Hello, this is Weekend File on the NTA. We are live in Abuja. Now, over the years, the federal government's interventions on the growth of non-oil exports as part of diversification of the national economy has continued to receive high priority contribution of agriculture, solid minerals and processed products, among others. They remain pivotal at enhancing foreign exchange earnings for sustainable development. In fact, in the first quarter of 2022, Nigeria reportedly gained significant increase, totaling about $3 billion for non-oil exports, compared with $981 million in 2021 and 2020, understandably with the COVID-19 pandemic. But with unwavering commitment by the federal government providing vital catalytic support and leadership towards promoting exports, Weekend File tonight will take a critical look at what states are bringing to the export market and impact on economic diversification with the aim of reducing overdependence on volatile crude oil revenues. We have updates from zones plus studio discussions with my guest Collins Umoso, Trade Ambassador, International Trade Facilitation Association. I am Jumbe Yusuf. Let's get the news first. The federal government says it will investigate all forms of economic sabotage across oil and gas installations in the country with a view to improving utility and exports for economic gains. Chief of Defense Staff and the Executive Officer of NNPC Limited made the promise while on an on-the-spot confirmation of the now famous 4-kilometer to sea illegal pipeline in Warri, Delta State. Benny Adams has the details.
Less than 72 hours after the NNPC chief executive revealed to the National Assembly the existence of a 4-kilometer illegal pipeline connection operated at Fokada's terminal into the sea in Yokri Afrima community, Warri, Delta State, it was time for confirmation.
This is Oklahoma line, and this is your test line. Currently, we estimated about 700,000 barrels have been lost, both in terms of opportunity loss and in terms of actual loss.
So we need support to make sure that this works. We are happy that they brought in a new contractor, but the contractor will work outside our right of way.
While the federal government vows to investigate and prosecute offenders, they have also agreed with all involved to enforce better security, intelligence gathering, technology, and dialogue with communities to avoid the more than $700 million being lost monthly to oil theft.
Measures have been taken now to restore, export will be heightened such that the time of shutdown will be limited. I believe that as all of us put our hands together to strengthen the measures that have been taken, we will see a turnaround in terms of getting more gains for the oil and gas space.
We still now have visibility around many of the marine activities that are going on. We see visibility around most of our assets, and we're improving on this. Obviously, technology is part of this intervention.
On the streets of the Niger Delta, I am Benny Adams, NTA News.
We will continue to discharge our duties within the ambit of the law while ensuring justice, fairness, equity for all and sundry. Acting Chairman of the Police Service Commission stated this during a visit to the Minister of Police Affairs. Francis Form tells us more.
It is the maiden visit by the acting chairman and members of the Police Service Commission to the Minister of Police Affairs. The purpose of the visit is simple: to acquaint the helmsman with happenings in the commission after the resignation of the former chairman.
We are all working together and we are working towards the same purpose, and we just come purposely, sir, to reiterate that this is where we stand. And I want you to have faith in us that definitely, we are board that will discharge our duties without fear or favor.
We'll continue to work together as one family, and to really assure you that we're always there for you. We're always there to work together for the good of the police and for the good of peace and security of our dear nation.
Done with the Police Service Commission, time for another engagement. A delegation from the Red Cross Society having audience with the Police Affairs Minister to get his buy-in on the standard operating procedures and its successful implementation in the police force.
When violence occurred and when there are law enforcement deployment and activities and operations, make sure that those people are protected at all times.
Whatever you do, you need a kind of standard procedure.
The minister promised to support the Red Cross in ensuring the organization succeeds in delivering on its mandate. Francis from NTA News.
The Ministry of Defense has assured retired personnel of the Nigerian Armed Forces of prompt payment of their pension and other benefits. The Permanent Secretary Ibrahim Kana gave the assurance at a news conference in commemoration of the 2023 Armed Forces Remembrance Day in Abuja. The Permanent Secretary stressed that the welfare of serving and retired military personnel is of great concern to the government.
The government of President Muhammadu Buhari GCFR has continued to demonstrate its commitment to the welfare of all ex-servicemen. To this end, it ensures seamless and regular payment of pensions to all military veterans. I wish to use this medium, therefore, to assure our esteemed veterans that the Security Department allowance will be paid and will be paid soon. We are currently working with the Nigerian Legion and all the Veterans Association to see to the successful commencement of this payment. I urge you to be patient while all the processes for payment are followed through to the end.
The Permanent Secretary notes that the briefing signifies the commencement of the annual celebration of the Armed Forces Remembrance Day and will be followed by emblem lunch by President Muhammadu Buhari, amongst other events. Stronger working relationships among security agencies and critical stakeholders has been described as the way forward in securing Nigeria from cross-border crimes. The Assistant Comptroller General Nigeria Immigration Service in charge of Zone C, Ismail Aliu, stated this during a one-day working visit to Yobe State. Abubakar Shuaibu has the details.
Yobe State shares international border with Niger Republic, thereby making it vulnerable to Trans-Sahara crimes, which constitute a major threat to national security. This visit by Assistant Controller General Immigration in charge of Zone C, Ismail Aliu, is to interface with Governor Malapu to address issues regarding border security ahead of the 2023 general election.
We can also tell our achievements and security without taking the necessary measures, check illegal immigration in neighboring countries.
We're not sharing border with 3 countries, Niger, Chad Republic, and the Cameroon. In such cases, that is why now immigration work is present. One of the duties of Nigeria is to man the borders.
The Assistant Controller General earlier interacted with officers and men of the Yobe State Command and assured commitment towards their welfare. In Damatun, Abubakar Shuaibu, NTA News.
To other news now, teachers have been encouraged to embrace modern teaching techniques to produce enough manpower that will drive the nation's economy in line with global best practices. Now, these dominated the submissions forwarded by various speakers during induction ceremony of 1,458 teachers from Adamawa, Borno, Yobe State, held in Yola, organized by the National Teachers Institute, Teachers Registration Council, and UNICEF. Yusuf Jika has details.
These were the successful 1,458 certified teachers out of the 1,843 who sat for the postgraduate diploma in education from Borno, Adamawa, and Yobe States. Apart from securing the necessary teaching techniques, the teachers were equipped with necessary skills needed to improve their job in accordance with the current trends in teaching and learning.
In this program, I was guided. I could be able to know how to tackle some of the issues.
We have acquired all the requisite qualifications, and we are going to train them and bring them up.
Chief Executive Officers of the National Teachers Institute and Teachers Registration Council of Nigeria, Professor Musa Garba Tafsir and Professor Josiah Olusegun, congratulated the successful candidates for attaining the feat.
Teaching is not just a roadside activity. It has to be guided by principles on the process of positive delivery for efficient reception by the students.
This is the best approach. The best approach is for training and retraining of teachers.
High point of the event was the presentation of certificates to the successful candidates. In Yola, Yusuf Jika, NTA News.
Friesland Campaigner Wamco Nigeria PLC, manufacturer of pig milk, has unveiled the Pig Unstoppable Human for Change initiative meant to inspire Nigerians to reach their peak in life. Olumide Eguntala reports that this was at the pig breakfast organized to celebrate Nigeria's powerlifting team, the Unstoppables, for its numerous achievements.
With 48 gold, Nigerian Paralympians under the control of Nigeria Powerlifting Federation are not only African champions but Commonwealth, Olympic and World champions with different records broken over the years, especially since 2016 when Friesland Campaigner Wamco, the manufacturers of pig milk, signed a sponsorship deal with the team. The partnership gave birth to a formidable team Nigeria, now known as the Unstoppables, celebrating the team for series of success recorded, including recent outstanding performances at the 22nd African Championship and Commonwealth Games in Birmingham. Calls for this pig milk breakfast a catalyst for success.
When you consume pig in the morning for breakfast, your day goes on and on and on and on. It gives you energy for the day, isn't it? It's the same thing with if you are unstoppable on something, you just keep going.
Maintaining its #1 position across the board is the focus of stakeholders, including the representative of the Minister of Youth and Sports Development, Ikana Mbora.
We have made our special feel very, very more special than any other person.
We thank Picnic for what they have been doing. For the past 6 years, they have been behind us. They have been our pillar.
Previously, they have few goats. I'm going to double the goat by the grace of God.
To spread the power and mentality of being unstoppable is this new initiative by Friesland Campaigner Wamco, tagged Pig Unstoppable, Human of Change.
Sort of get individuals who are actually impacting their communities in their own little ways, and then the hashtag Unstoppable, you just click on the and then you put in your entry, and then you will be able to participate, and you stand the chance of winning up to 2 million naira.
In Lagos, NTA News.
Selflessness, politics of inclusion and social justice have been identified as the ideologies of a man many prominent Nigerians say should serve as a reference point for modern political leaders. The ideologies of the late and first civilian governor of Old Plateau State, Solomon Lar, are now documented in a book authored by him. Charles Alpha was at the public presentation and launch of the Solomon Lar Leadership Institute in Abuja.
A dream long conceived is made a reality with the caliber of people here present to grace the public presentation of the book Chronicles of the Rainbow, an autobiography of an elder statesman. Solomon Lar speaks volume of how impactful his life on earth was on not just the northern people but Nigeria as a nation.
Chief Solomon Lar was a teacher, mentor and politician who traversed the Nigerian landscape and left indelible footprints in the service of this nation.
We say we will try and reach out to all Nigerians, no matter your party. This is what our father stood for.
We believe that at the end of this event, all of us will be happy, all of us will celebrate the life of the late Chief Solomon Lar.
at the public presentation of his book and launch of the Solomon La Leadership Institute. Prominent Nigerians, both past and present, believe the late first civilian governor of Plateau State, Solomon La, was a man devoid of tribal or religious politics.
Learn from the likes of Chief Solomon La, who played politics of sacrifice and selflessness in the interests of the people.
He was aspiring clergyman and a thoroughbred teacher.
The wife, Mary La, was applauded for steering the ship in the absence of her husband, Charles Alpha. NTA News.
We'll take a break now. More will return. More reports. Do stay. We're still on to Weekend 5. Now, who says hard work, diligence and patriotism don't pay? Well, you may just have a rethink, especially when you hear the testimonies of silent achievers who were honored for contributing their quota. Talking about the lives of General IBM Haruna, who bagged a Lifetime Achievement Award in Community Service, and NTA's veteran broadcaster Cyril Stowa, who received Legend of Broadcast Journalism Award by the Nigerian News Magazine, amongst others. Kenneth Nanin reports that it was a harvest of dignitaries of proven character at the Our Nigeria News Magazine Standing Ovation Awards and Lecture.
Nigerians from all walks of life are represented here, though diverse by tribe and unique in their appearances. They are, however, united by a common cause, and that is celebration of excellence and hard work.
Commend the organizers who have thought it wise to also include members of the fourth estate of the realm that hardly ever appreciated and sometimes took their life on the line, giving us stories, reports from all over the world.
We'd like to commend the organizers first and foremost for singling out the theater commander, Operation Hatinkai, who leads the troops in the counter-insurgency and counter-terrorism effort of this country.
Hence, fishing out distinguished Nigerians who are rendering selfless service to the fatherland for recognition, including the physically challenged Mariam Omar, is a way the magazine prides itself beyond the captions.
Let's promote this magazine because with them, we will continue to know and see the best among us at every given opportunity.
The award lecture echoes voices of why Nigeria should be on the news for the right reasons.
What we have as objective in our Nigeria is, promoting the ideas of national unity, social cohesion, togetherness. We should go and preach the gospel of Nigeria's unity, Nigeria's progression.
Some speakers also evaluated the state of the nation at the moment, but painted a picture of hope for a new Nigeria, possible if the nation gets it right by 2023.
Make sure that we adhere to the tenets and to the laws governing the conduct of the election, and it should be done very well.
Come the next election, we will still inherit a Nigeria that is continuing to labor for peace and security.
Standing Ovation Award and Lecture is the fourth in the series. Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
Benue State Governor Samuel Ortom has advised the national chairman of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, on how to retain his position in the face of the wranglings within the party. He also harped on his optimism that PDP would be victorious in the forthcoming general elections. This was during the state's emergency executive council meeting in Makurdi. Charles Abba reports.
The emergency executive council meeting was at the instance of Governor Samuel Ortom. The governor, who stated that principal among other agenda of the meeting is supplementary budget, expressed confidence that the People's Democratic Party would come top in the 2023 general elections. On the issue of the call by a section of the party for the resignation or removal of the national chairman of the PDP, Dr. Yochiayu, Governor Samuel Ortom placed two options for him.
It's either you resign or plead and beg the people to understand with you why you should continue as national chairman. Because you see it yourself, nobody compared you. This is my position. The national chairman told the whole world that they will resign if they don't candidate.
The governor re-emphasized that until equity, justice and fairness are brought to bear on governance, the socio-economic and political landscape will remain turbulent. In Makudi, Charles Abba, NTA News.
The blockage of Lokoja Abuja Road due to flooding is taking its toll on commuters from and going to the southwest through Ilorin, now causing good luck on the alternative route. Olajide Bello reports that the Jeba-Makwa axis is now witnessing unprecedented heavy vehicular movement.
The ripple effects of the blocked Lokoja axis is biting hard on travelers going through the nation's capital city, Abuja, from the southwest through Ilorin. This is attested to by Olushola Akisheye, a driver at one of the Abuja parks in Ilorin. The once smooth journey, according to him, is now a Herculean task.
Some people that passed through that place before yesterday, they came back the following day. Yeah, that's because of the flood. Okolowo is one of the exit points from Ilorin for people going to either Ibadan, Lagos, or Mina, Abuja. Now that the flood has taken over the better part of Lokoja axis, people now apply this route to get to Abuja.
Well, anybody who pass Lokoja now, you want to too much on the road now. So the road we already spoiled, so it gives more now.
I met Nathaniel Adeyi, a carpenter who had a job at Okene, but his hopes of using the proceeds to fend for his family was dashed as he spent more than 24 hours on the road and eventually missed his appointment.
We that we are looking for our daily bread, we need to find solution because we are struggling, so they should help us.
As the traffic is diverted to the Jeba-Mokwa axis, security, according to commuters, needs to be beefed up.
Actually, we are appealing to security agents at least they should be more effective.
For the likes of Olushola to breathe a sigh of relief, the appeal is for prompt government intervention to salvage the Lokoja Bridge and other roads that are yearning for urgent attention, with a view to making them motorable again. Olajide Bello, NTA News.
The Nigerian embassy in Tanzania has opened a library of pictures in Dar es Salaam, the Tanzanian capital. Anthony Fosun reports.
As part of activities lined up to commemorate Nigeria's 62nd independence celebration, guests at the event cut across the diplomatic corps, friends of Nigeria, Nigerians resident in that country. They all converged to celebrate Nigeria, the big brother, at 62. The Nigerian High Commissioner Sabi Isa said it is heartwarming to celebrate Nigeria at 62, saying at 62 there is a lot to celebrate and to celebrate Nigeria's diversity, which is her strength.
Today, after nation, there is much for us to celebrate. We celebrate our diversity, we celebrate our entrepreneurial spirit, we celebrate our resilience and ability to turn adversity into hope. We also celebrate our diverse cultures. Socially, Your Excellencies, there are increased in Nigeria's bilateral and multilateral relations at various diplomatic levels, and even at the level of people to people, has been witnessed in the increased interactions between the youth of our countries, particularly in the movie and music industries, sports, culture, and many other things.
Tanzania's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Liberator Mulamula, said the people and government of Tanzania felicitate with Nigeria as she turns 62. The unveiling of the photo library and inspection of pictures of past leaders and prominent Nigerians on display was climaxed with a toast to the Federal Republic of Nigeria. In Arusha, Tanzania, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari sends condolences to the family of Chief Vincent Obulafo, former chairman of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, who passed on Friday at 73. The president commiserated with leaders and members of the PDP The Oloko family, Umuahia, and the government and people of Abia State over the loss of the former national secretary of the party. President Buhari believes the former national chairman will be remembered for his role in the nation's democratic growth. The president commends the zeal of the Prince of Oloko in sustaining the unity and progress of the country. President Buhari prays that God will accept the soul of the departed and comfort his family. We take another break. More when we return. Do stay.
She's a wedding girl. I never let her never down. She wrote no phones at the table, please. Esther. I love you too. Don't forget our big affair.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
Kids, grown-ups, it doesn't matter. Have a cup of peak chocolate anytime and enjoy the delicious nourishment of chocolatey goodness. Peak. Reach for your peak.
Bye, Mom.
He's going to play in this weather. Why did you let him go? He might fall ill. And if he doesn't go out for practice, how will he win more trophies? To protect our family from illness-causing germs during the rainy season, we use Dettol soap every day.
Dettol with Germ Defense gives you protection. Rainy season brings a lot of germs, and Dettol soap's Germ Defense protects you from up to 100 illness-causing germs. Dettol soap is endorsed by the Nigerian Medical Association. Be Dettol Soap.
Good morning, Nigeria. Year after year, they have been informed, educated, and entertained of. When you needed information, knowledge, or an escape.
Generation to generation, the Nigerian broadcasting industry has worked tirelessly to serve you.
And now, this service will finally be recognized.
Right?
This November, broadcasters all over Nigeria will gather for the maiden edition of the Nigerian Broadcasting Awards, an award ceremony set to reward hard work and unflinching excellence in the broadcast media. We have served and are still serving. It's time to say thank you. This award is organized by the Broadcasting Organizations of Nigeria, BON. For more details, log on to www.tnawards.ng and follow our social media handles at TNP Awards.
You're welcome back. Nigeria's records growth export of more than 4.146 million metric tons of non-oil products worth 2.593 billion between January and June 2022. Comfort Amodu reports that the agriculture, manufacturing and services sectors contributed exponentially to the growth despite the global economic recession that affected most businesses.
From developing the entrepreneurial ecosystem using technology to developing export potentials of key players, including aggressive campaigns to promote non-oil export, to increase Nigeria's volume of export to the global market, with a strategic push to drive the country's non-oil sector.
Nigeria has taken a huge leap from being a mono economy where we are concentrating on just the crude that we have, being able to take products that we have, add a little value, or even send as raw materials to countries. We are now beginning to talk about certification, being able to comply with international standards.
The Nigerian Export Promotion Council, as part of its drive to mainstream informal export, launched an Export for Survival campaign to grow the country's gross domestic products and foreign exchange earnings. This has brought significant growth in the non-oil export sector, was between January to June 2022, various Nigerian products were exported to 112 countries. Among the top 15 exported products in the first half year of 2022 were cocoa beans, sesame seed, urea fertilizer and aluminium ingots. The manufacturing sector accounted for 36.28% of non-oil export. Raw agriculture products recorded 33.35%, while precious stones amounted to 13.22%. 572 companies were responsible for the growth of the non-oil export during the period.
We are trying to ensure that we pick up, or at least our products are seen in almost every African market.
Each state we encourage to have one product, and a lot of states have come up with products that they can, they have potential to produce a mass, like kogi, iguri, cashew, and so also some other states talking about sisig, ginger in Kaduna State. Quite a number of them which a lot of resources behind the product to make sure it's reached the export level.
Government agencies for trade and export are equipping youths with skills and trainings to increase participation in the non-oil sector.
Comfort Amadu, NTA News. Now, experts in the financial sector say the concept of Nigeria being a mono economy has since changed, with the cluster of manufacturing and commercial activities in Lagos making it one of the largest business hubs in Africa. They reiterate the need to include other commodities in the current perspective of foreign currency earnings in addition to oil to enable the country progress to a more industrialized nation. Amaka O reports.
Lagos is said to have a unique topography that paved way for trading activities which dates back to the pre-colonial era.
Lagos has done well in the area of services, and it's an area that we need to continue to exploit more.
From being the one-time capital of Nigeria, the revenue trajectory and trends show Lagos is different from other states, with an internally generated revenue that grew from 800 million naira to billions of naira in the last 15 to 20 years and generated 127 billion naira in the first quarter of 2021, an indication of robust commercial activities that thrived in the non-oil sector.
There is commerce, there is people manufacture, heavy manufacturing, and then at the same time you now have technology.
Data is a new oil, like you said in most places. The kind of data that is coming out from Lagos is something that Lagos State itself can monetize and use for a whole lot of things like planning.
The mega city also plays host to major industries and government infrastructure such as the ports and rail projects that serves as catalyst for economic growth.
The Lekki Free Trade Zone, the Lekki Port, the Dangote Refinery, Nollywood, music, and education, in the totality of it, these are all industries that Lagos can do very well for. It's already 30% of Nigerians' GDP.
To what extent has the non-oil sector added to the nation's export earnings?
It is only in the agricultural commodities that we have some challenges in terms of quality.
From Oyo State comes a report that the state can boast of various agricultural produce and other creative venture that adds to the revenue base of the state.
We have a lot of opportunities in solid minerals. We have a lot of opportunities even in aviation.
In all, Lagos remains the state with the highest contribution to the nation's internally generated revenue, put at 139 billion naira in the second quarter of 2021. Hence, the need to strengthen all aspects of the non-oil sector to increase the foreign earnings and deepen revenue drive. In Lagos, Amaka O, NTA News.
And so, well, to shed more light on this topic and talk about how the oil export is, trying to rejig the economy of Nigeria is Woso Collins, Trade Ambassador, International Facilitation Association. You're welcome to Network News.
Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure to have you join us. Now let's look at it from a historical perspective. Before discovery of oil, agriculture mining and other services was what was rejigging the economy and making Nigeria stay afloat. Along the way, we sort of lost focus. Now the focus is back to the non-oil sector. It has been contributing immensely to Nigeria's economy. Every state in this country has something to offer, and it is receiving attention now, but what is the value addition and what is the success story here?
I think, thank you for this. Really, it's important that we know where we're coming from. Because if we are not looking at our history, it will be difficult for us to pave the way in the future. What happened in the past when we had the granite pyramids, we had ginger all the way from, Kaduna to Wamba in then Benue Plateau, showed that there were different things that could generate wealth. The discovery of oil made it easier, so it seems one commodity helped us to also generate wealth. So we set up NNPC, we set up NEPC, both at the same time. But what happened along the way was attention. What you give attention to is what grows. So attention was given to oil based on how it plays in the global markets, its space in industrialization, because that was the cusp of industry. We're moving from coal to oil, so the whole world was agog with that. And we wouldn't blame Nigeria so much because we always need to follow global trends. It's important to play a role in what's happening on the global scale. So if we learn from that is that we do not need to just play at that level. We also need to chart a course. The course being that we do not neglect things that generate wealth for us. So now we're going back to it and we're looking at some specific products. I think that may also take us back to where we're coming from. We need to look at what each state has. We need to pay attention to what they have and not become a mono agro economy. We started talking cassava, everybody focused on cassava. We started talking about rice, everybody focused on rice, because it seems those are the things you're giving attention to. No, we need to look at everything. You're looking at ginger, you're looking at cassava, you're looking at groundnuts, we're looking at taking advantage of what we have, because that's the way we would grow a sustainable economy. And not just in produce. We're not just talking about gold, talking about the people as well, because they're integral to developing export. And I think we've started making strides. We started having quite some successes. The Nigerian Bureau for Statistics tells us that about 80% of our businesses are small businesses, and they drive the economy. So what we're seeing is that a lot more smaller companies, small businesses are putting together things that are putting us on the export map. So they may not be doing large containers, but technology like e-commerce and the small businesses are teaming up. So you have people exporting 1 kg of kuli-kuli, and it's increasing. So what we need to do to tap into these success stories that are coming out is to begin to create systems around it, begin to encourage the system. And I think the government has done quite a lot in that area, and they're doing even much more. The recent RT 600, which is encouraging exports so that you can repatriate the funds and earn more. Incentives. A lot of incentives are coming and being administered through the Nigerian Export Promotion Council. Even the cabotage act that is being pushed forward. All of those add to the ecosystem of export, and I think it's great.
So what's the largest contributor, to the national income now from the oil sector itself?
From the non-oil export side, it's still not commodities. We're still having scrap metals. We're still having ships. A lot of re-exports. So some of the things we import are being re-exported. Even our so that's one. But the second largest is for our non-oil export is services, surprisingly.
Really?
A lot of services.
And how is that?
I'll take you to Flutterwave and Paystack. Those are payment portals. Those are payment gateways. Those payment gateways provide services to people overseas and people locally. And you have to pay a token. So if you're buying something from Nigeria, you need to have a way of paying for it. And someone has to provide that service. So how do you pay? How does the person in the US pay the person in Nigeria for having bought 5 bags of ginger? You need a payment portal. So when people put these small businesses that are all over the place are putting their items on the internet and they're using e-commerce, someone is responsible. So you have Flutterwave, you have the likes of Paystack providing some of those services, and it goes in millions. It goes in a lot of millions. Now, on the other side of it is intellectually, the intellectual properties that are being developed. The intellectual properties that are being developed also helps. So somebody is behind the thinking that is driving the companies, and these people are sought after. So we have quite a number of people working from home now who are rendering services to companies overseas. So there's a massive growth in services providing, exports, foreign exchange. The gentleman that we watched on the clip said data is the new oil. It's true, because you need to know what's happening. You need to be able to gather the right data, and data drives the behavior. For instance, Facebook is looking at some of those other big companies. They look at how people behave, they gather that data, and it propels what they do in terms of sales. So if you analyze how your customers behave, if you're able to get that data and you analyze it, it will help you in charting a course. Okay, fine, we need more of this, we need less of that. In fact, the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics is a good example, providing us data that we need to take very, very critical decisions. So that again pushes services. So services is really,
so it's not just about goods, it's all about services too.
Goods and services.
Indeed. So we'll take a break now. When we return, our conversation will continue as it sheds more light on the importance of diversifying the Nigerian economy. Yeah, welcome back, and I still have Nwosu Collins. My guest in the studio is the Trade Ambassador, International Facilitation Association. Let's talk about Nigeria being the first country in Africa, to record the first successful transaction through just what you were saying earlier before we went on the break, the Pan-African Payment and Settlement System. What does this mean for Nigerian non-oil exports?
PAPS is, Afrex and putting up PAPS is great. Again, you cannot do trade if you do not have a way of exchanging money. Trade is successful when your goods or services have crossed and someone has made a payment for it. That's the essence of all of the programs we're running, or the RT 600, whatever it is. You repatriate your funds. So PAPS has now made it easy. And PAPS is significant for us because what it will do is that as we trade within Africa, as we take advantage of this huge market that has been created under the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, we need to have a way of paying the dirhams that is coming out of Morocco with the SEFA. How do you do that? We cannot now start a system and index in dollars. It defeats the purpose. So we have to find a way of paying ourselves on the continent. Now, perhaps as a gateway is making it easy. I can trade with the chap and exchange cedi for naira, and they will do the exchange and I get my money, and I'm not losing, they're not losing. We're not affecting our economies, because that was also a risk, a big risk that comes with the free trade area. How do we dominate? Do we create a single currency and everybody runs with it? But with the electronic payment systems and perhaps driving it, it makes it so convenient that I can do business with other people within the continent, for instance, which is what I think we should even be focusing on. You do business with someone in Cameroon, you're doing it with someone in Togo, you're doing it with someone in South Africa, Uganda, wherever it is.
Even without meeting each other.
No, even without meeting each other. You're able to do your business, and somebody is standing in between there saying, look, I will make that payment happen. And you're not struggling to look for dollars. You're not going to the black market to change. The person is not struggling to, hustle to see where they can get dollars from. No. They sit down and local currency is exchanged, and the exchange takes care of it. That is significant, that's critical, and that's, I think, a lot of awareness needs to be created so that exporters know that we can do this. And there's a lot of wealth on the continent. We just need to immense wealth on the continent. We need to recognize it, take advantage of the tools we have, and build ourselves.
If you're talking about the focus on states and their contribution to the oil sector and the economy itself, how can someone in the state who wants to begin the export business understand the chain of production itself? Briefly.
Oh yeah. So the major thing I could say is that the Nigerian Export Promotion Council, which is the equivalent of NNPC, has representation in all the states. So they have centers that you can go to and get information. That's the first place. So every Nigerian go there, get information. Right now, there's also a program running with the National Orientation Agency, so you can go there, get information. But if you want to do business, there's also your phone. So we have a huge mobile penetration. Almost 80% of the Nigerians have access to the internet through their mobile phones. Google is your friend. Go there and just type in steps to export. And export is one thing where you work from the answer backwards. You ask, what is the market looking for? I have it. Okay, how do they want it? So customer satisfaction from the export perspective is how the customer views it. So I want your groundnut mashed, not squeezed. Fine, okay, I will mash it and I will not squeeze it, and that becomes the standard. So you can use Google, but these centers are there. The Export Promotion Council has centers. NOA is joining, partnering with them now to create a lot of awareness. We at ITFA were also there online creating a lot of awareness. So you can do that, but take advantage of what we have. Again, the internet, the phone that is in our hands. Unlike before, where you needed to go to, it was difficult to get information. Yeah, but now you can actually Google it and get the information. What is the market looking for? And it's there, and begin to streamline from what you have in your backyard. You might find that you have gold in your backyard and you need to process it, but there's a process for it.
It's all about technology. It's key here.
Yes, technology is key as the means for providing information and the right data.
Okay, Monsieur Collins, Trade Ambassador, International Police Facilitation Association. Thank you so much for coming on Weekend Fire.
Thank you for having me.
Learning from your experience itself.
Thank you for
having you.
It's a pleasure.
Up next is Sports Update with Olumide Eguntola.
Plateau United are battle ready for the first leg, second round CAF Champions League clash against Esperance of Tunisia Sunday in Abuja. The team is confident about overcoming the North Africans.
The way people are talking about Esperance, Esperance, very difficult, but they are not impossible.
Meanwhile, Esperance of Tunisia had a light training Saturday to get ready for the match being for the main bowl of Moshood Abiola National Stadium, Abuja. Similarly, Kwara United is set to battle RS Bakini of Morocco in the CAF Confederations Cup at the Mobolaji Johnson Stadium, Onikan, Lagos, also on Sunday.
Kwara United will play that entertaining football and opposing football for us to qualify for the stage.
Still on football, in less than 72 hours, the 7th edition of the FIFA Under-17 Women World Cup will kick off in India with 16 teams, including the Flamingos of Nigeria, from 6 confederations eyeing the coveted trophy. Host India takes on USA on the day 1 of the tournament on Tuesday, while Nigeria takes on Germany. And from the English Premier League, Manchester City moved to the top of the table with 23 points after a 4-0 win at the expense of Southampton, as Alan scored again for the 10th game in a row in all club competitions. Newcastle United humbled Brentford 5-1. In another news, ahead of the 2022 National Sport Festival, Team Rivers State dominated the South Zonal elimination as the team came first in 4-team events. John Paul Alona reports that the best 2 teams qualified for 7-team sports.
This zonal elimination in Akwa Ibom was one of the best so far.
In Ibadan, Kayode Oladosho reports that Team Lagos led others in the Southwest Zonal elimination held in Iwo, Osun State, in all the 7 games registered for, while Oyo and Ogun State trailed behind Team Lagos.
Lagos is still number 1 when it comes to sport.
From the grassroots, the Nigerian School Sports Federation has organized a 3-day training program. About 150 secondary school students between ages 14 and 18 took part at the main edition of the program.
We are going to be promoted to level 2 when we have fresh ones coming in.
The focus is to raise the next generation of sports officials from a tender age. Sports update, Olumide Eguntola, NTA News.
And the weather update is next.
Hi there. It's the news that the rains are gradually leaving the northern region. Our attention is more to the central and most especially the southern parts of the country. So for Sunday morning, parts of the north will be in mostly sunny condition with few cloud cover. However, we observe good chances of thunderstorms over Taraba and parts of southern Kaduna. Also, outbreak of thunderstorms pushing from the central down to the southern parts of the country. And we expect these thunderstorms to continue into the afternoon, where these activities are likely to be intense. We also observe prospects of afternoon thunderstorms over some parts of the north, particularly Kebbi, Zamfara, Kaduna, Adamawa, Taraba, and some parts of Kwara, Kogi, Niger, and the FCT. And that's it from here. I am Akami Samarda. Thanks for watching.
That's it on Weekend File. Thanks so much for your time. But before we go, don't forget to join NTA in the fight against rape and rapists. I am Jummai Yusuf.